just sitting there with her signs that said, like, we love Sophie, like, thank you, Sophie, for speaking up. And so we were holding them, just watching the game. Again, like, we were being super great. We hadn't said anything to anyone else. We were being super respectful. We were just holding our signs and cheering for both teams. And this lady, older lady, comes up to us. And she comes up to us, and at first I think she's going to be nice. And she asked, like, what are you guys doing? Something like that. And then it was like, Jesus loves everyone. That's what she told us. And I was like,
Welcome back to. Before we unlock this massive story, drop a quick comment below. Do you think team owners should be punished for yelling at fans? Let us know right now in the comments section. Buddy, what we are witnessing right now is the total collapse of the WNBA's public relations machine, and the entire league office is in an unprecedented state of emergency. If you thought physical battles on the court were the biggest story this season, think again. The drama has officially spilled into the stands, and it involves teenage girls, massive political debates, and a high-ranking WNBA team owner absolutely losing her mind. Just a few days ago, on July 28th, the Indiana Fever faced off against the Seattle Storm. But the real showdown didn't happen on the hardwood. It happened courtside. We are talking about confirmed reports that Seattle Storm co-owner Celeste Keaton was officially suspended by the league after she allegedly cussed out young fans supporting Sophie Cunningham. This fallout is so massive that the entire Seattle organization was forced to issue a desperate emergency apology to stop the bleeding.
This Seattle Storm situation is going very south fast. Now we have other big-time business people being accused and caught on film harassing Indiana Fever fans, and these young ladies held a rally for anti-trans. Now during this rally, nothing happened. It was calm. But the Seattle Storm co-owner, who has now been suspended, by the way, we're going to talk about that, made it her business to make sure these young ladies have a very, very tough night that night. And that's exactly what she did. Now, I said this once and I'll say it again. If I'm these young ladies' parents, I'm quickly, in a hurry, talking to legal. We have to sue not only the Seattle Storm, but you have to sue the WNBA for harassment.
Caitlin Clark's team is completely engulfed in a PR nightmare, and the WNBA is desperately trying to contain the massive fan backlash. Do not skip a single second of this video, buddy, because we are breaking down every angle of the most explosive executive scandal in modern WNBA history. Let's jump straight into it. To understand how we reach this absolute tabah, we have to go back to the core catalyst, Sophie Cunningham. The dynamic between Cunningham's public statements and the league's political environment has become the most volatile storyline in professional sports. Last week, Cunningham stepped directly into the line of fire during a massive ESPN profile. She made her stance crystal clear, openly supporting restrictions that would bar transgender girls and women from participating in female sports. She stated that she wants to protect young girls from having to compete against biological men, framing her comments around safety and fairness. Buddy, when those comments dropped, the internet completely stopped breathing. The context was instantly weaponized by critics and supporters across the globe. It became a massive flashpoint, drawing intense cheers and severe jeers from fans everywhere. Always
believe in that. I think it's really important to protect children, and that's little girls who are also involved in that category. And so I stand on what I said, and I always believe that.
Yeah. Do you see your advocacy on that, like, taking any form going forward?
You know, I don't know. I'm not a very political person, but I do have beliefs. I have morals, and I'll always stand on those and be true to who I am. And I think people are going to take it how they want to take it, but I've never even really said anything about that. And so when it comes just to protecting young girls in sport and women in sport, I feel very strongly about that. I think that's why you have Title IX. That's why you have some of the greats in women's sports. If Title IX and women's sports weren't protected, then you wouldn't hear about any type of women in sport. And so I think in the future, it's just really important to protect.
Okay, great opportunity for the WNBA, right? Because it's like an 80-20 issue. Most Americans don't believe that boys should play against the girls. And you're talking about a women's sport league. That's what you're talking about. Women's basketball. If you let the biological men play, you end up with the movie Juwanna Mann, or alternatively, Lady Ballers. A 14-year-old high school freshman boys starting varsity player at any decent public school in America would torch these ladies. That is just a reality. Okay, that is not sexist. That is called reality. 14-year-old boys all over America are dunking. The WNBA with biological men would just be called the NBA, and the ladies would be called ushers, or at best refs.
So when the Indiana Fever traveled to Seattle for their July 28th matchup, the powder keg was completely loaded. Ahead of the game, a massive demonstration took over the outside of Climate Pledge Arena. Dozens of fans gathered to openly support Cunningham, holding signs and pushing for a local ballot initiative aligned with her views. The tension was boiling over, and some of those supporters carried their signs straight inside the arena. Buddy, all it needed was a match, and the Seattle Storm front office provided the spark. That spark came in the form of an alleged highly explosive courtside meltdown. During the game, two young teenage fans were sitting in the crowd holding signs that read, "Thank you, Sophie, for speaking up for girls." Instead of letting the fans express their opinions, reports indicate that a prominent figure completely lost it. Independent journalists revealed that a woman confronted the teenage girls, allegedly telling them they were effing insane and stating she hoped, "Jesus can forgive you for what sin you've done."
And one of the co-owners of the team came over and blessed them out and used the F word. And so she was suspended. What was your reaction to this?
Well, it's important to know who these girls are and, of course, the setting of where this game took place. It happened in Seattle, the state of Washington. These girls are 16-year-old girls. They're in high school. One of the girls, her name is Annalee Wilson. She's a 16-year-old runner from Washington State who has taken a stand. Why has she taken a stand? Because she has had to live these policies. Actually, Annalee, she placed second at, I believe it was the Kashmir Junior Olympics regional track meet in the 1600. She lost to a boy. Since then, she's had to find herself standing up before school boards to her peers and to classmates and to teachers and to adults. What she told me was that Sophie's courage has inspired a generation of young athletes. She says that it is such a relief now to know that someone, especially when it comes from a professional female athlete, has their back. And now here she is, as you said, supporting Sophie, and she's being heckled by grown men and grown women, which now to the left, that's considered progressive. It's just sad that young girls, 16-year-old girls, have to be the adults in the room.
Yeah. You know, the young lady, one of the girls that you're talking about, the athlete, she was wearing an XXXY t-shirt, and that's the apparel company that was created by Jennifer Say, who is the gymnast, the former gymnast. And their mission is really just to focus on protecting women's sports. Here's Jennifer reacting to it. Listen to this.
I'm so proud of those two young girls. They're so grateful to have Sophie so loudly and full-throatedly in our court. These young girls have been going it alone, and to have a star from the WNBA stand up and say, yeah, girls deserve their own sports is such a huge win and a vote of confidence for these girls, and they feel like they're no longer alone.
You know, she started that company. You're wearing one of those T-shirts, too, just to protect women. And it goes back to what Sophie said. She said, there's a safe space and love for everybody. Everybody's welcome at my table. Sophie, the basketball player, says this. But she said, I want to support women. I want to make sure it's...
Buddy, when the identity of that woman leaked to the public, the sports world completely froze. It wasn't just a random fan. It was allegedly Seattle Storm minority owner Celeste Keaton, an actual team executive allegedly cussing out teenage girls over their signs. The situation was absolute tabahi. The girls were reportedly subjected to relentless booing from surrounding fans, and even Seattle players were allegedly seen making thumbs-down gestures toward them. The WNBA, a league desperately trying to secure its booming viewership, was suddenly facing a massive scandal where a team owner was accused of harassing young fans of the opposing team. The league office was completely terrified of the growing narrative, and the pressure to act was mounting by the second. The panic was so severe that the league had to step in and drop the absolute hammer. The WNBA could not let this massive PR disaster destroy their momentum.
Walking up to two 16-year-old girls holding a "thank you, Sophie, for speaking up for girls" sign and calling them effing insane. One was in tears by halftime. The girls were backing Fever guard Sophie Cunningham, who said she wants biologically men kept out of women's sports. The Storm apologized once in with public. Cunningham is not sending the two girls gifts. She called Keaton's meltdown truly embarrassing. So Sophie Cunningham is sending the two girls some gifts, man. So I'm guessing Sophie talked about this. I wonder how they find out Sophie sending them girls something. So the owner has been suspended for 5 games. I just feel like 5 games is just not enough. It's just not enough, bro. She should be banned. These was kids. This is like a hate crime in a sense. She verbally abused someone else's children. This is very bad, guys. Like 5 games is not enough. Then y'all didn't release the type of fine. This is why we cannot take this league serious, because they do things like this that make us not want to watch it, bro. Not want to watch it at all. Now, Tuesday Fever game, one of the 16-year-old girls stayed up the night before making the sign, then spent halftime crying courtside. A couple of Storm players gave the girls a thumbs down to their face. A man told them to take out the trash on their way out. The team's apology: everyone who attends a Storm game deserves to feel welcome. Now, Sophie Cunningham, like I stated, did state, well, this has been reported that she's going to send them something, but there is video that has been released of a fan telling these young ladies they are trash. This is a bad look. And this ain't just no rinky-dink person. This is a corporate guy connected to Nordstrom's. Let's watch it. So this is
On Thursday, the league officially confirmed that Celeste Caton has been hit with a massive fine and a severe 5-game suspension from attending Storm home games. Imagine that, buddy. The league permanently exiling an owner from her own building for 5 games to protect the Shield. The Seattle Storm organization was completely humiliated. Majority owner Jenny Gilder was forced to issue a rapid, highly public emergency apology. She stated they were aware of the comments and apologized, desperately trying to claim that everyone deserves to feel welcome at a Storm game. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's team, the Indiana Fever, is trying to stay completely clear of the chaos. The Fever organization and head coach Stephanie White refused to answer questions about the pro-Cunningham rally. A PR rep even intervened, stating the organization had absolutely no knowledge of the demonstration, desperately trying to keep the focus on basketball after their massive 105-95 win.
You know what? Finally, someone has said something, and I don't really look at either side of those, because I know whatever I say, I'm going to get hate and I'm going to get love. And if I'm going to live by the love, I'm going to die by the hate. And that's just not who I am. I beat to my own drum. And so people are always going to have something to say. You could win the championship. You could be the best at whatever it is. And there's still people who are going to hate on you. And so that's just what this world is. So I'm confident in who I am. I'm proud of who I am. I'm happy being me. I'm going to continue to be that.
You always had kind of that mentality when it comes to, people saying things, or is that something you've built and learned to adapt over time?
I think I've always kind of been able to, handle that type of pressure, I would say, and the type of eyes and the type of people who have comments. And like I said, there's going to be some negative comments, but there's also a whole bunch of positive comments too that no one really ever, people hate positivity for some reason. I have no idea why, but there's a lot of positive comments too when it comes to that. And so, it is what it is. Like I said, we're all human. No one's perfect here. And so I really don't care what other people have to say. I know who I am. My people know who I am. And hopefully I'm doing them proud and making room for young boys and girls in our world to have a better future than we did. I think people are going to take it how they want to take it, but I've never even really said anything about that. And so when it comes just to protecting young girls in sport and women in sport, I feel very strongly about that. I think that's why you have Title IX. That's why you have some of the greats in women's sports. If Title IX and women's sports weren't protected, then you wouldn't hear about any type of women in sport. And so I think in the future, it's just really important to protect.
Do you think, I guess, along the line like that, it goes against perhaps, some people might say, hey, for the trans community, this could be something that could come back on us or be targeted against us. Like, how do you, I guess, view that sort of critique?
Like I said, I extend love, and I don't dislike anyone. Like, I think there's room for absolutely everyone here, and I think there's room to love everyone. And I truly think when you get people in the same room and you have conversations, you actually have a lot in common with a lot of people. And so I'm there to love, but I'm also there to love biological women, and I think that there are rights that need to be protected. And like I said, I'm going to stand true to that. I'll never falter in my beliefs in that, but I have never once said I hated the trans community. Like I said, I think there's space for everyone.
We have never seen anything like this in the history of professional basketball. A political debate has mutated into a massive courtside confrontation, leading to a team owner getting suspended and the entire league office panicking. The WNBA thought they could manage the rising tensions, but the fans are demanding accountability. I need to hear from you down in the comments right now. Do you believe a 5-game suspension is enough for an owner cussing out teenage fans? And is Sophie Cunningham completely justified in using her massive platform to stand by her beliefs? Drop your most savage, unfiltered opinions in the comments down below. If you want the raw truth about the WNBA that mainstream media tries to hide, you better smash that like button right now. Subscribe to the channel and turn on all notifications because this story is updating by the minute and we will not be silenced.